Hi everybody, it's Brody from Brody's Garage. This is episode 14. Let's see what's in store for today. So I used SketchUp to whip up a little rough draft of a subwoofer enclosure. And it looks something like that. And then I got some cardboard and whipped it up in a little model here. And I'm gonna go out there in the garage now and see how it fits. Oh, by the way, that white cardboard box there is a remnant from one of my production shows I did, a tribute to Pink Floyd The Wall, where I did a full projection mapping thing and the whole 9 yards. And anyway, I can't get rid of those boxes, so hey, I found a use for it. Seems pretty good back here. Don't know if that's perfectly centered right now, but I didn't make it go all the way to the top because I wanted to be able to get the box in and out of the trunk if I ever needed to pull the entire assembly out. I didn't really want to make it any taller than this right here. So it's about 12 inches tall. And then around the front side, that's kind of what it looks like right there. And I made it kind of follow the contours. I don't know if you can see that, but down in there, there's sort of a contour to the trunk pan. And so I angled the box, kind of gave it a tapered edge there on both sides. And it has space for two 8-inch subwoofers, which are coming probably on Monday from Scar Audio. I don't know anything about subwoofer design or enclosure design. I just know that I wanted some subs, but as you can see, I went with two 8-inch because I'm not after like super mega low-end bass. I just wanted it to kick. I wanted some punch. And I did get today my Alpine speakers for the rest of the car. We've got a pair of 6x9s for the back, and up front we have a pair of 6.5-inch circular round speakers with a pair of component tweeters there, and I guess the little crossovers that split the two signals up. And those will go up in the door and the dash, and the 6x9s will go back there, and the subs will go back there. And I'm thinking that maybe the subwoofer could have its own dedicated amplifiers, and maybe I'll mount those to the back panel here and then finish the whole thing off in carpeting. Because I've got kind of this goofy thing going on with the ice water tank and the battery back here, I decided what I'm probably going to do is just make a panel divider that goes, kind of follows the frame rail here and goes up and sections this whole thing off, and on this side too, and then basically you just have this square compartment which will be my trunk space, you know. And then maybe these panels will come up and over like this and be upholstered to match everything, and match the interior upholstery. And I don't know, that's where I'm at with it right now. If anybody has any suggestions, should I port the cabinet? Should I design a cabinet with the subwoofers facing backwards, which I've seen a lot of guys do? I don't really get the logic behind that. To me, it makes more sense to have the speaker aiming in the direction you want the sound to travel in. But hey, what do I know about that? I have seen subwoofers turned backwards, usually to cancel on stage. Sometimes you see a pair of subwoofers pointing the opposite direction to sort of correct that phasing issue, and it'll help the bass trap on stage. But as far as a car audio system, I'm not too sure what the advantage would be in doing that. So I think I'm going to make the cabinet out of, you know, either plywood or MDF, and I think the shape is fine. And I just have to secure it down to the bottom and mount the amps on the back and cut some holes in there for the subwoofers. And maybe I'll put a port, either a slotted port, and then chamber the two halves of the box. I don't know. I'll do a little work and research on subwoofer design and acoustics and see what I can come up with. But as far as a basic shape, I'm happy with that. It's going to be behind the back seat. Nobody's going to see it. I'm probably also going to make, before I put my seat in, a block-off plate, either out of, I don't know, either out of aluminum, sheet aluminum, or maybe I'll make it out of like a composite material, like a plastic PVC sheet or something like that. And I'll just, you know, cut it around the wheel wells and have it seal off that entire thing. And then, of course, my sound deadener material will go over that. And then the back seat. So that's where it is. Also, I put the wheels back on and I got the car back on the ground, and good news, folks, it is no longer rubbing back here. I can stick the whole finger along the whole way. However, to be fair, the car is not sitting as low as it's going to be sitting. When I put the shocks back on, for some reason, either it's because I cranked up the coils a little bit too high, but I could not get the shock bolts to go through the lowest hole in the bracket down there. And I think that's what's holding it up, maybe another inch. But the car is definitely sitting high, and maybe I can crank those coilovers down a little bit. Honestly, I'm a little tired right now. I'm not thinking too clearly, but definitely the car needs to sit a little bit lower, about an inch. And so, to be fair, until I get the car down where I need it to be, I can't tell you if the tires are going to rub it. I think I'm good. Regarding the front kick panel speakers, I had to cut out a metal bracket behind the kick panel there for clearance for the magnet, and that allowed me to get the new 6.5-inch Alpines in place. So I started building my subwoofer box, and that's how much I've got done so far. Now, I don't have a proper table saw, so I'm kind of making a makeshift rig here. And so that I can cut my lines nice and straight, what I decided to do is I use the straight edge of my level here, and I'm clamping it down on there. And to get the distance between my cut edge and the edge of the guide, I took my caliper here and I measured the distance between my blade and its guide, the edge guide here. Transfer that over here. I'm going to make a mark on the line there, and then I'm going to clamp my guide next to that line right there. Let's see how it works. Hi everybody, it's day 2-ish of building the subwoofer box, and I got to tell you, it's a much better day than it was yesterday. I got the table saw yesterday afternoon, which really significantly improved things as far as the accuracy of my cuts and the angled cuts especially. Also, I didn't realize that the whole thing I was working with yesterday was not MDF. It was particle board, which is really cheaper material. It flakes apart easier. This is actual MDF today, and I gotta say, it's denser, it's more solid, the cuts are clean, things are lining up much better today. I don't know if you can see all that, but yeah, it's just, it's a whole other different thing today. So, fingers crossed, things are gonna continue, and I'm gonna get this subwoofer box built today. Subwoofer box built today. 4 pieces down, 2 to go. All right, there we go. We are gluing it together. First couple of pieces, got them clamped in there. I wish I had more clamps, but that's all I got. So I'll just do a little bit at a time, and we'll see how it goes. All right, friends, well, there's the basic box. Back, bottom, sides, and top. Now I just got to cut the holes for the subwoofers in the faceplate. Just taking a quick pause to notice the sunset in the background. Isn't that spectacular? The weather has changed here in Las Vegas. It literally got cold overnight. Today, very cold and windy day, but a beautiful sunset. Okay, back to work. All right, the last piece of the puzzle before the faceplate goes on is a center brace. I decided to stiffen up the cabinet a little bit, and I just cut a big 3-inch diameter hole there for the wires to pass through. Don't really need much support there. It's a pretty sturdy box, but I thought, you know what, better to have it than not. I almost forgot to stuff some insulation in there and some speaker wire. Might come in handy. Plus, I still have to drill a pocket over here for the terminal mount. Well, it's the moment of truth. Let's see how good everything fits. I'm literally doing this for the first time. I got some glue all around the edges. I'm gonna do a little tap tap here. Tap dance. It's looking good. So far, so good. I don't think it's coming back out. You can all see this. I'm not paying attention to the camera. You hear that? It's getting solid, getting deeper. Yeah, it's pretty darn good, I gotta say. Okay. That was probably terrible camera footage, but I just tapped it all in there. And I gotta say, it fits pretty snug. I'll wipe that glue down and get those speakers in there. Whew, well, there it is, my friends. From conception to reality. Now I still have to mount these speakers. I gotta get some screws because it didn't come with any screws. So I gotta find some screws and put those in, and I've still gotta wire the speakers on both sides. I've gotta drill a little circle here for my terminal pocket, and then wire up the speakers, and then I'm gonna pull it all apart, carpet it, and then call it done. All right, there is the terminal pod, whatever you want to call it, recessed panel. One goes on the other side too. I think I'm gonna call it a night here. I got the cabinet built, I got the speakers mounted. All I gotta do is pull this stuff out, do my wiring on it, and then carpet the entire thing, which I've got some carpet laying around here somewhere. Right down there. Got it from Home Depot. And I'm gonna try my hand at the upholstery, and we'll see if the thing fits in there tomorrow, hopefully. All right, so that concludes the evening in episode 14. I hope you enjoyed that. I got my subwoofer box pretty well roughed in. I'm gonna carpet it and get it wired up and permanently install it in there. Now in the back shelf there where the subwoofer is gonna mount, the floor pan has kind of a ridged, a little bump raised center. So I'm either gonna take a router and route out a section to clear that, or I'm gonna add some more material around it. Haven't decided yet. Also, I gotta start on my billet trunk hinges. They arrived and I knocked the rivets out of the original trunk hinges, got those out of the way, put the new hinges on, and my plan is to basically put the deck lid on the car and try to get it taped into place where the gaps are lined up. I'm gonna crawl into the trunk, and I'm going to tack weld my brackets where my hinges are gonna mount to, and hopefully get those things installed soon. And then it's going to be on to engine work. My block and heads and crank and everything should be coming back from the machine shop hopefully next week, or maybe in the next few days. I found a pair of used original front fenders from a guy in Montana, and as luck would have it, he had another guy coming up from Salt Lake City to pick up something else, and so that guy from Salt Lake picked up my fenders, and they're now at his house in Salt Lake, and now I got to get them here somehow. My original order from Real Deal Steel included the fenders, the cowl hood, the radiator support, the bumpers front and rear, the bumper filler panel that goes between the grille and the front bumper, and a few other things. And because they kept back ordering the front fenders, I located the OEM ones and I canceled those off the Real Deal order. But my hood and the bumpers and the rest of the stuff should be coming within a few days. So hopefully I'm gonna have some front end sheet metal and I can mock up the front end and see what that looks like and fits like, fingers crossed. The fenders, because they're original, they're gonna need to be sandblasted down to bare metal, and who knows what else. Some dents, I'm sure, some Bondo, rust, I'm not sure. That's all for now, but I will catch up with you soon, ladies and gentlemen, on episode 15 of Brody's Garage. Y'all take care. Good night.